right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here today to talk about our professional development program. I'm Edith Richards, and I'm the manager for employee development. I'm going to share some slides with you about our organization, the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority, and then we're going to talk about the professional development program and the positions that we're recruiting for. If you do have questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box and I will answer them after I finish with the presentation. And I'd like to thank my colleague, Brian McCoy, for running the slides for me behind the scenes so that I can focus on speaking. Next slide, please. So I'd like to give you a brief overview of who we are, an overview of the professional development program. And then I'm going to be talking about the career paths, which are developmental positions that can lead to a full performance level of a specialist. And then we'll be talking about the benefits, not only of this particular program, but of being an employee at the Airports Authority. This program is founded on a cohort model. So participants are hired together and progress through the program together, which we found is extremely beneficial both to the participants and to other employees. I'll then briefly mention our development plans, and we will finish up with the application process. Next slide, please. So a bit about us, the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority, and we are known as MWA collectively. We serve the National Capital Region, the greater DC metropolitan area, and we were first created in 1987 when the FAA transferred ownership. We operate two airports, Reagan National and Dulles International, and we have over 1,500 employees in a structure that includes central administration, airport management and operations, and a police and fire departments. Our organization also oversees the Dulles Toll Road and the Metro Rail extension construction. Next slide, please. Our mission is to develop, promote, and operate safely Reagan National and Dulles International airports, continually striving to improve our efficiency, our customer orientation, and the level of air service offered at National and Dulles. And we are striving to be the best managed airports in the United States. Next slide, please. Okay, starting out with an overview of our program. This is a 4-year program, which essentially includes 3 parts. On-the-job training in a functional area, so in airport operations or administration, human resources, information technology, engineering, revenue or business systems, and then cohort meetings and training. And I'll be talking more specifically about our cohort model shortly. But briefly, the cohort does meet regularly once a month in the beginning of the program for a few months. And there are 3 purposes to cohort meetings. It's to discuss challenges and success stories in a safe space, to learn more about management and leadership skills such as presentation skills and team building, and also to hear from our senior managers about the work that they do. And in this way, participants in this program gain a level of exposure to our senior management that many new employees don't receive. And the program ends with a capstone project that encompasses everything learned throughout the program, and it relates to a current goal at the Airports Authority. So this current cohort will have 10 positions beginning summer of 2022. Again, airport operations or administration, human resources, IT, engineering, revenue, and business systems. Next slide, please. The objective of this program is designed to meet the future leadership needs of the Airports Authority while providing participants with invaluable experience. We want this to be a win-win for everyone. We want our participants to gain exposure and knowledge of the industry and of our organization so that they can advance their careers and we will benefit from their expertise and ideas as well. Next slide, please. So briefly mentioning the positions available. So as I mentioned, there's going to be 10 positions and they will be advertised tomorrow. We have one in airport construction and engineering at Dulles Airport. We have one in airport operations at DCA, that's Reagan National. We have a human resources generalist position, a compensation and benefits position. In our IT department, focused on digital strategy, we have 2 positions available. One position in our revenue department, one in our business transformation department, and then 2 in our engineering department as either an architect or engineer in training. Next slide, please. Just briefly mentioning the examples of starting salary. So participants are going to be starting, most positions will start at the S17 level, but some positions may start at a higher level. And positions, career ladders are developmental positions with increasing levels of responsibility and pay. So participants are going to enter the program at 4 levels lower than the targeted position, and then they're going to be promoted non-competitively to the next higher grade after completing the required qualifications and time frame in each career ladder. So years 1 and 2 are going to be at the associate level. Year 3 is at the technician level. Year 4 is at the analyst level. So assuming all program requirements are met after year 4, the employee will be at the full performance level of a specialist. And these positions will allow participants to develop and progress within their departments at our organization. Next slide, please. So I'd like to talk about some of the sample program plans. And just to give you an idea, I have 2 to talk about here. The first one is the compensation and benefits associate. So these are just some examples of year 1 assignments. The majority of the first year is going to be focused both in the functional area of compensation and benefits, but also in doing professional development training and activities with the cohort. We want individuals within the first year to demonstrate an understanding of the Airport Authority's health benefits program, assist with annual benefits during the open season process, and then take Workday training. Workday is our human resources and finance system that we use to manage a number of our functions within the organization. So it's a big part of the work that we do here at our organization. Next slide, please. Year 2 assignments, continuing with the professional development program training and projects, demonstrating an understanding of the Airport Authority's retirement program, and then assist in conducting salary reviews. And also in year 2, we'd like this individual to begin training for the Certified Benefits Professional certification, and that's the CBP certification. Next slide, please. And then finally, years 3 and 4, the individual will be assisting with the annual merit pay program and performance management program, processing compensation actions in Workday, completing the benefits certification, and begin training for the compensation certification. Next slide. Moving on to the engineering areas here. So this is a sample program plan for airport construction and engineering associate. Year 1, similar to the other positions, a lot of professional development training and programming, shadowing project engineers and inspectors, and learning airport construction projects. Next slide. And then moving on to year 2, professional development training and programs continue, reviewing engineering proposals and construction documents, monitoring construction work on site, and learning the building code process and procedures. Next slide. And then finally, with years 3 and 4, the individual will actually be reviewing and preparing office schematics and engineering drawings and independently reviewing engineering proposals and construction documents and monitoring construction work and quality control on site. Next slide, please. Okay, talking about the benefits of the program. One of the most important benefits is that participants enter the airport's authority as a permanent employee. And this is different from entering as an intern. An intern is not a permanent employee. So, as such, permanent employees receive the full benefit package from day one. That includes annual and sick leave, health and life insurance, a retirement plan, as well as a 457 retirement savings plan with a matching company contribution, and then 11 paid holidays, including Juneteenth. Additionally, we offer participants in this program tuition assistance from day one. This is a benefit that all of our other employees need to wait 1 year before receiving. We do encourage participants to further their education by completing a graduate degree or a higher education program of study at an accredited college or university. The program of study must be related to the business of the airport's authority, and participants can request up to $5,000 per year in tuition. Next slide, please. Talking briefly about the benefits of our cohort model, we have found that it is beneficial for participants to have this level of support through the program and afterwards. And it helps them to understand the various facets of the work that we do at the airport's authority, as participants are all in different functional job positions. We have used a cohort model for all of our other programs, our leadership development program, our supervisory training program, and past internship programs as well. And this is actually one of the most cited benefits of our program, being able to progress through with other people and develop cross-functional relationships with teams. Participants in our programs almost always form a tight bond with each other and become a big support as they progress through the program and afterwards. The cohort, again, will be hired together and go through extended onboarding together. And they'll participate in training during monthly meetings. And we'll be focusing a lot on team building, presentation skills, emotional intelligence, and we'll also be hearing from our executive leadership team on the work that they're doing. So finally, the cohort is expected to research and present content for a final capstone project, which is intended to be a culmination of everything they've learned through the program and will relate to a goal of the airport's authority. The cohort will have a sponsor for this project, and the sponsor will be a member of our leadership team. And then the cohort will present the capstone to members of our leadership team. And this is all done in conjunction with the regular job duties in their functional areas. Next slide, please. Talking about how we assess and develop our employees. In this program, we do require an individual development plan or IDP. And this is a way for employees in conjunction with their supervisors to document and track their performance and to understand their strengths and their areas for development. So both the functional or on-site manager, who's the department manager, and the program manager for this program will have input on the IDP and the employee's developmental needs and areas to develop. Assessments are also an important part of this program. So we all, participants will all take the emotional intelligence assessment, the EQI 2.0, and 2 psychometric assessments, Myers-Briggs type indicator, and Clifton strengths. And we have a great deal of discussion and team building centered around all of these assessments. And finally, certifications may be expected within a participant's functional area. So, as the example I gave earlier with compensation and benefits in our human resources department, we are expecting the participants to obtain workday certifications related to compensation and benefits and the CBP certification as well. Next slide, please. So we'd have a 3-part application process, and these positions are going to be advertised tomorrow. So we do ask applicants to apply through Workday, submitting your resume, and we will be contacting the most qualified applicants for an interview, and then there will be a background check, which is the 3rd part of the process. I'd like to go ahead and pause here in case anybody has any questions they would like to ask. If you'd like to go ahead and chime in the chat box here. A question came in: if you already know your MBTI result, do you still have to take another assessment? So the Myers-Briggs and some of the other psychometric assessment I mentioned is part of the program, and we will ask participants to take that once they are in the program and a member of the cohort. But thank you for the question. Okay, a question coming in: are only new undergraduate program graduates eligible for this program? Great question. No, absolutely not. This program is, and anyone who has a bachelor's degree is eligible to apply to the program. Though we are targeting recent graduates, but anybody who meets the requirements, we would love to have you apply. Where would the link to apply be found? If we can move on to the next slide. Actually, and I'll come back to this one. Can we move? Yes, thank you. This is the link to apply, mwa.com/careers. Okay, going to pause here for a few more minutes in case anyone else has a question. Okay, and while we are hanging on there, one more here. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're in grad school. Even if you're in grad school, still love to have you apply to the program if you meet the requirements. Can we go back one more slide, please, Brian? Thank you. So just want to give a quote here from one of our former program participants. This program has provided me the tools and resources to jumpstart my career with MWA. I couldn't imagine a program that could provide so many opportunities for career advancement in such a short time. And James is now landside and airside contracts manager at Dulles Airport. Right, gonna continue to pause here for a couple more moments in case anybody has any questions or would like to chime in on anything. Okay, well, I'd like to thank you all for taking some time out of your day to join us to hear more about this program. Again, my name's Edith Richards. Please feel free to either connect with me on LinkedIn, and please connect with the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority or MWA Digital, or you can follow us here on LinkedIn as well. One more question here. Is this program on site or is it a remote option available at all? Great question. Right now, it is. Many of us are working remotely, but that will probably not continue indefinitely. So we are looking for people who are going to be available on site once we're able to return to in-person work locations. All righty. Again, thank you all for tuning in here with us today, and thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.